Rumors are swirling that Jay-Z is facing heavy pressure as people he allegedly crossed in the past begin resurfacing, and Gene Deal is at the center of the conversation, loudly insisting that Jay-Z could be the next name caught in the storm. Whispers even suggest Beyoncé may be preparing to create some distance, while talk around the industry claims Diddy has stepped back after feeling Jay didn't stand with him during his ordeal.
Funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s.
Did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them. You know what I mean? It definitely was some...
People in the commentary circuit have long speculated that Jay-Z isn't a stranger to high-stakes conflict, and what's unfolding now simply puts him on the defensive instead of in control. Voices like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have repeated their claims for years, painting both Jay-Z and Diddy as figures surrounded by tension and controversy, warning that the pressure would eventually rebound on them. Diddy's situation has already taken a dramatic turn, and according to those same commentators, Jay-Z could be heading toward an even harsher reckoning as the atmosphere around him grows heavier.
These four gentlemen got together, going to put up $30 million apiece.
Contemplating doing the first black-owned distribution company.
The thing is, they wasn't trying to let us in the door. That's why I don't trust these people.
But Suge came up with the idea. It was a brilliant plan. He said, whatever the recording fund is, 10% goes to the union. And each time you do a new album, 10%. It was going to be some get down or lay down shit. Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
All of us was being hit up around the same time. Someone left that meeting talking about our move.
It was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those Leo Corner to let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. They told Jay, if you help us get rid of Dame, we're going to make you the president of Def Jam.
Why don't we stick together and they got to come to us? For some reason, everybody just wants to do everything on their own. They don't understand collective economics.
Whispers around the industry claim that some insiders view Jay-Z as untrustworthy, pointing to long-running rumors tied to the 1999 incident involving Lance "Un" Rivera, an event where Jay-Z ultimately pled guilty to third-degree assault, though Rivera has repeatedly insisted that Jay-Z never attacked him. That contradiction has fueled endless debate, with people speculating that Rivera chose to stay quiet for reasons known only to him, adding another layer of mystery to a story the industry still hasn't stopped dissecting.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
For Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know, I'm not a perfect person.
Commentators have long argued that Jay-Z shows little public remorse for the Lance "Un" Rivera incident, pointing to old interviews that critics claim he framed as a turning point in his life. Remarks that some have interpreted harshly and labeled as cold or calculated. According to those same critics, the mixed narratives surrounding what happened at the Kit Kat Club only deepen the confusion. Witnesses over the years have shared their own accounts, while Rivera remains the sole person who continues to insist Jay-Z never harmed him. That contrast has fueled ongoing speculation, with observers suggesting Rivera may feel pressure to keep his version of events unchanged, leaving the entire situation shrouded in contradiction and industry debate.
You know, well, you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon.
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay, all right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever. This is gonna sound crazy, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you still kid from Marcy Projects, and you know, not everybody they waiting for you to mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just go ahead. You know what I'm saying? We let you just go ahead and self-destruct yourself. You know what I'm saying? But that right there was a moment I was like, okay. You know, and I'm glad it didn't have to take for me to be in jail for like 7 years to be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That moment was like, okay, all that stops. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not going to parties with 30 people, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I'm not going to put myself in that position.
When you look at Dame still kind of living that life, you know, you could find Dame at the club, you know.
Yeah, but he's with 30 models. It's a little different. I was with the hood.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. He's hanging at a different kind of club now.
Industry gossip is buzzing that after Diddy's collapse, Jay-Z could be the next major figure caught in a wave of takedowns, with some voices insisting that powerful forces are moving against the so-called villains of Hollywood. Commentators point to Ice Cube's belief that Diddy's downfall didn't happen naturally, noting how he went from a globe-trotting billionaire to losing hundreds of millions and landing behind bars in less than a year, fueling theories that something bigger might be at play. Now, those same speculators are claiming Jay-Z may eventually face his own reckoning as the atmosphere around the industry grows darker and more unpredictable.
Did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with them?
Yeah, he's produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, the Peace Disc. Yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he, gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94. Yeah.
Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type. You know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. Ain't never really wanted to go. But I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for.
Some commentators claim that Jay-Z's tough exterior doesn't always match the stories behind the scenes, pointing to long-circulated rumors from the 1996 East Coast-West Coast era, saying he stayed inside his Las Vegas hotel room to avoid a potential clash with Tupac. According to Gene Deal, tensions were running high until Suge Knight stepped in and urged Tupac to let the night play out peacefully so Jay-Z could take the stage. These accounts have been part of hip-hop lore for years, shaping debates about how Jay handled the pressure during one of the most explosive moments in rap history.
What's the story behind Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room because of Pac?
All right, what happened was that I guess Pac had got whiffed that Jay-Z was in town. Well, he gonna do a show because Jay-Z, he doing a show. But you got to realize Jay-Z had became an enemy of Pac because I think he had said was going to do a song with Big or whatever like that, the whole 9 yards. So Jay is now Pac's enemy. too. So Chaz Williams, who was over Black Hands. Black Hands was one of the labels who did that. Black Gangsta had every artist in New York on, and Chaz, who is now getting into the music business, has become a music executive, and he was once a former gangster who was on American Gangster BET because they had him down for robbing 161 banks. That's what they put in their program and everything. But Chaz was a gangster in New York City that became a music executive. So he gets a phone call saying that Jay is not going to come out the room because Tupac threatened him. So he's not going to do his show. Can he make some phone calls, you understand, to get Pac off the bullshit? So I think he may have talked to Big D, and Big D and Eric B called Suge, and Suge was laughing, saying that wasn't him. Because they tried to make it seem like it was Suge that was doing it, but it was Pac. So I guess Suge called Pac. Pac let him go ahead and do his show and everything like that. But Jay was scared to come out his room.
So that story was really true about Jay-Z being afraid to come out his hotel room.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, he was scared. Probably still is scared.
Some storytellers in the industry even claim that Gene Deal once joked about wanting to knock Jay's head off, using it as proof that Jay-Z isn't nearly as intimidating as his reputation suggests. And critics argue that if Jay were truly as dangerous as some portray him to be, voices like Gene Deal wouldn't be speaking so boldly about him, adding yet another layer to the ongoing debate surrounding Jay-Z's image and the legends built around it.
You know, because he was being disrespectful. We was in Cancun, and he had a personal assistant from my block named Laura. And he had brought like 6 people to the club with him, and he was only supposed to get 3 people in. I was running the door at Daddy-O's from Industry Entertainment. They just told me Jay-Z only get 3 people in. So I'm at the door. I said, yo, Jay, you good? And 3 of your other good, but the other 3 got to pay. So then he said, Laura, handle him. And at that time, the type of dude I was, you couldn't tell no woman to handle me when I'm talking to you as a man. I said, who you talking to like that? You telling her to handle me? And then me and him, you know, he didn't say nothing. He just turned to the side. And if he'd have turned back around, he'd have got his head knocked off. But Laura told me, yo, Gene, please, Gene, you gonna make me lose my job. You know what I'm saying? And because once she was beautiful, 2, she from our block. I wasn't going to do that to her. So I gathered myself, stepped away from the situation, you know what I'm saying? But he was being
Some voices in the commentary world have long pushed the narrative that Diddy and Jay-Z moved in the same circles and were tied to the same shadows, claiming there were street-level rumors and old stories suggesting they operated closely. Stories that Gene Deal says he heard firsthand during his time around the industry. Critics argue that while Diddy eventually faced harsh consequences, Jay-Z was shielded by silence and protection from powerful insiders, allowing him to stay untouched as the headlines closed in on others. Now, with Gene Deal speaking out more boldly than ever, those same commentators insist that hidden truths are beginning to surface, warning that Jay-Z's carefully built empire could face the same level of scrutiny that brought others crashing down.
To protect myself, that there's stories of Jay talking to underage girls. It was a girl from my block that was 16, 17 years old that Jay was talking to. If she was 17. So there's plenty of stories out there that they might flood the market of Jay talking to underage girls. I heard this kid that is claiming to be his son. His mother was 15 when she conceived him and had him at 16. And Jay refused to do a blood test or anything like that.
From your point of view, because I know you heard the statement that, you know, Jay lawyer came out with about how he wasn't really friends with Diddy. From your point of view, was they really friends or no?
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball They wasn't playing baseball. They wasn't playing football. And they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it. But I don't know what kind of half a homo that is. And you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
Some commentators are pointing out that talk about Jay-Z facing pressure in prison circles is surfacing at the same time. Rumors are spreading about Diddy dealing with rising tension behind bars, leading people to speculate that a larger force may be targeting high-profile figures all at once. Over the past couple of months, stories have circulated online claiming Diddy has faced growing hostility, with insiders suggesting only the quick reactions of nearby officers kept situations from escalating. Now, theorists are claiming that whoever might be stirring trouble for Diddy could also have their sights set on Jay-Z, fueling a wave of speculation that has the industry buzzing.
That while he was sleeping at the MDC Brooklyn jail, somebody came and put a knife, pressed it to his throat. Now, as I keep digging into the story, they're saying, yes, a correctional officer, or a police officer was the one who came and basically helped him out and quote unquote saved him. Yes. And so, you know, obviously Diddy's lawyers are trying to use this as a way to just get him even moved to a different location. But right now, everything is kind of staying as is.
Yeah, his safety being an issue when he's supposed to be, you know, I think in some sort of protected environment. You know, remember MDC? Isn't that where the Epstein situation happened?
Yeah.
Is he safe though? And you say something about him getting stabbed?
I was going to say, Diddy's team is saying no, he's not going to be safe because in court, we found out that there was an attempt on Diddy's life, that there was a man that attempted to shank him, but they stopped it, the correctional officers. And they say Diddy didn't even want people to know that he didn't want to make it a big deal. But of course, they're having that conversation about will he be safe because of who he is and how high profile this case is.
Right.
They're also having a conversation. Mark Geragos is a high profile attorney, a friend of Diddy's, but also the dad of Teeny Geragos, who led Diddy's defense about Diddy potentially being raped in court. And we can and just attacks on his life because they say that people look at him as like a trophy or a prize and to do something to him.
Well, what if other inmates hear all of the stuff that we've been hearing in the news all of these weeks and they scared of Diddy?
That's not how they presented it. I don't.
That's crazy to say Diddy's a trophy. Like he's looked at as a trophy in jail is crazy.
Some commentators are saying karma might finally be catching up to Diddy, claiming that for the first time he's facing intense pressure and challenges similar to the ones he once exerted over others. Industry insiders are suggesting that the tables have turned and Diddy is now navigating a world of scrutiny and tension that puts him on the defensive in ways he's never experienced before, adding a new layer of drama to his story.
That Sean Diddy Combs could be sexually assaulted, violently assaulted. Is that a thing? Because based on what was said in court, it feels like a thing.
Yeah, it clearly is a thing. I mean, they're already, and he did not want to make a big deal of it. They already tried to shank him once at the MDC, and that was thwarted. And it happens in prison. I mean, you and I could tick off how many times we are aware of somebody getting seriously injured or killed in prison. And so they're going to have to keep him somewhere that they can keep an eye on him. It would have obviously been better if he had gotten less time and had been at a camp, but he's going to be in a facility where somebody's going to have to, from the BOP, and I think, they're well equipped to do it if they can, to keep an eye on him because he is a target.
So let's say he is sent to a minimum security prison. Is he out of the woods when it comes to that kind of assault?
If you're going, you and I talked about Ghislaine Maxwell, who went from the one place in Florida, which was a higher level, not a camp. And she was transferred after she did the interview with the couple-day interview. She was transferred to what they call a camp in Texas, which I'm familiar with. I've had other
industry commentators, including Gene Deal, have fueled speculation that Diddy is facing intense challenges behind the scenes, with insiders like Charlucci Finney sharing stories that suggest he's under pressure in ways the public rarely sees. Rumors have circulated about incidents targeting him while in confinement, which some claim are part of a broader pattern of escalating tension. Observers say this is just one of many hurdles Diddy has had to navigate recently, and the speculation continues to keep the industry on edge.
Diddy being in prison and the circumstances of him being in prison, I didn't never hear about this, and nobody ever said anything about this, and I want to know if it's in the prison records. They said one of the guards stopped a dude from shanking Diddy. Now, I'm like, if he was doing all this positive in jail, and they was talking about he was, all the inmates loved him, and they was employing him and doing standing ovation. I wonder what inmate was trying to shake him. Was that one of the Tupac? Was that one of the Tupac fans, or that was one of the Biggie fans? Because they said that the guard, they said that in court. One of the lawyers, one of the guards stopped one of the individuals that was trying to shank him, bruh. And that was crazy. Nobody, I never, that didn't leak. Everything leaks from prison, but that didn't leak. Nobody wrote home and say, yo, dudes is in here trying to stab Diddy up. But the lawyers mentioned that today. I want to see if they're going to investigate that right there. You know what I'm saying? And base that, or he probably used that, base that on trying to help Diddy getting into one of those camps or one of those programs that, he ain't got to worry about nothing.
Commentators have been saying that Jay-Z doesn't have the same layers of protection that Diddy once seemed to enjoy, with rumors claiming Diddy had powerful backing while Jay-Z relied more on support from influential industry figures. Now, according to those same voices, if those elites are stepping back or losing interest, it could leave Jay-Z exposed in ways he hasn't experienced before, adding a new level of uncertainty to the storm already surrounding his name.
When we were on the street, we didn't get a day's rest. I mean, the government was all over us. The FBI is all over us. They got investigations on us. They got informants. They got surveillance equipment.
He was not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was he really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, he's not. So the reason why these type of people get caught up, they always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law, And as you know, all these people get tired of their rap.
I mean, what this guy did is disgusting. I don't think there's a person alive, a man or a woman, especially women, who are not going to hate this guy. Whatever he did was completely disgusting. It's beyond criminal. I don't even know what it is. I look at it like he disgraced everybody. He disgraced the black race by being a black man. I know a lot of black people, and they hate him for it because it painted a picture towards all of them. I think it's being followed all over the world. If he's not found guilty, or he's cut free, or he does a short amount of time, I mean, I could only imagine what the whole world would think. This is a disgusting country. So there's a lot of things.
Sammy, if you would give me your comparison. I mean, listen, guys in the mob did some terrible, terrible things. The murders were gruesome and violent and painful, and they served a purpose. They were meant to terrify people into staying in line, right? Compare that to the things that you've heard alleged from the witness stand and testimony under oath from a lot of these young women and some of the young men who were his assistants. Compare the guys in the mob to the stuff you're hearing alleged against Diddy.
If we did that in the mob, we would be for it. We would never touch women and children and stuff like that. So that's against our rules, our principles. We would never get away with something like that. There was a guy, Roy DeMeo and Gas Pipe, who became serial killers for no reason, and they were killed. So, I mean, if he was in the mafia, he would, and we knew what he was doing, he would have been.
Industry commentators and insiders have long speculated that the circles Diddy and Jay-Z moved in were high stakes and full of risk, with some saying that even figures accustomed to handling danger would find themselves tested by the kinds of conflicts these two navigated. Michael Francesi, a former organised crime commentator, has been cited in discussions, suggesting that the intensity of their reputations alone would put anyone on edge. Observers argue that both Diddy and Jay-Z operated in environments where loyalty, influence, and power were constantly in play, making every move a potential flashpoint and keeping the industry watching their next steps with bated breath.
They saw what he did to Cassie with the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know did nobody in America like that. So now these people are represented by a brand, whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They're not going to come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape. And girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not going to show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're going to start talking. And they're not going to be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape.
Rumours are swirling that Diddy is facing intense pressure behind the scenes, while whispers suggest Beyoncé might be reconsidering her distance. And even the streets that once shielded Jay-Z are now watching closely. According to Gene Deal, the environment around Jay-Z is shifting, and some insiders predict that his influence could be challenged like never before. As the speculation grows and stories continue to unfold, the industry may no longer be able to shield him, keeping everyone on edge. Stay ahead of the conversation, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to catch every update the moment it drops, so you never miss a beat in this high-stakes saga.